William Hunt Savile sponsors the Trilby Tour, the perfect gentleman's playground.
This week on the Trilby Tour, one man decides to turn our event into his own personal crazy golf course. Welcome to glorious Northumberland and the Northumberland Golf Club for the Championship of, Northumberland. The course is in the middle of Newcastle Racecourse, so let's check the form and find out who wins by a neck and who falls at the first hurdle. Coming up on the show, we have all the best of the play from a very windy day in Northumberland. Torrential rain joins the party during the four-man three-hole playoff to determine the champion of the county. And we'll even have time for a steward's inquiry on the worst shots of the day in Rogue's Gallery. I'll be meeting the runners and riders on the first tee, but now it's time to hand to your commentator, our friend in the south, Rob Lee.
Thanks, Matt. We're at Northumberland Golf Club, just the north side of Newcastle, but very unusually right in the middle of a racecourse. Quite incredible. Designed by Harry Colt and James Braid. Beautiful morning, wind due to pick up in the afternoon. And it's back to you, Mac.
Right, thank you, Rob. I'm here on the first tee with a man called George Sandcaster, who's been playing golf for how long, George?
About 45 years now.
So you're a very experienced golfer, 45 years, yet this is your first Trilby Tour. What took you so long?
Oh, work, back operations, etc. Took ages to get there, but I've watched it for 9 years, so this is my first chance at it, and it looks absolutely fantastic here.
So this is your first chance to make a name for yourself in the Trilby Tour. You're also a player that plays here regularly, are you?
Yes, I'm a member here. I've been here about 7 years now. It's a fantastic golf course, great committee, great green stuff. Must say, fantastic green stuff. Today will be a great challenge for people on the greens.
So the course is at your mercy on a day like this. Look at the conditions, look at the opposition, for goodness sake.
There's quite a bunny bunch there that I'm playing with, but all nice lads.
That is one of the principles of the Trilby Tour. Do you think you can uphold your end of it?
I'll tell you in 4 hours. That's the best way, 4 hours. Don't know what's going to happen.
Best of luck, George.
And I can confirm that Mac is the only man at this Trilby Tour event with a cravat. Georgie, 5 handicapper. Little bit left, perhaps. It's well struck. And that's perfect. The very longest players can get on the green. One, if they have a go, get over those trees.
We're on the first tee with one of the Trilby Tour's long-standing bright young things, Mr. George Crowe. George, how many years have you been a bright young thing full of possibility and potential?
So this is my 10th year now on the tour. I say I started when I was 18, so
you think it looks like you started when you were 8?
Yeah, as I say, it's just gone from strength to strength. The tour. William's done a great thing, and everyone involved. It's just fantastic, you know.
It's lovely that you're so sycophantic, but we want to know, after all this, 10 years of promise, when are you going to win a singles title?
Yeah, that's it. I've won the pairs, but nothing individually yet, so I'm hunting down that first title today. So
he's got proper golf shoes on as well, look. None of your fancy trainers. This is a proper golfer. Good looking swing. Plays off scratch. And he knows what he's doing. Right over the corner. Will it be George's day? That'd be something to crow about.
Right, another local likely lad, Paul Shanks. You remember here at the Northumberland, Paul, I believe.
Yep, that's right. Yep, 2 years now.
2 years a member, and what's your best bit of golfing performance in your 2 years?
It's been few and far between, I think. It's quite a tough course.
And yet you've still entered for the Trilby Tour, where the increased pressure of being on that camera could make it even more nerve-wracking.
Yeah, could be a day from hell.
The greens, the strangers, the people who are not from hereabouts are all saying, "Oh, greens, fast greens." Is just normal for Northumberland?
Yeah, they're always like this, even in the winter. But I mean, they've been double cut this morning, and the undulations are quite severe. So I think they will struggle.
But okay, give us a big fat number for the points total you're aiming for.
38.
There's a man full of confidence. 38 says, we'll hold him to that. Do not scrub this tape.
Of all the surnames you could have as a golfer, Shanks is probably the worst. Think of Duff and Hook and all sorts of maladies out in the links. How about the swing? Very good indeed. Beauty. Paul off to a flyer. 3 handicapper.
Right, we're just going to have a quick word with local hero Dean Snee. How are you doing, Dean?
Very good, thank you. Yeah, good day. Looking forward to it. It's a great event. It's great to have it at the home club. And the guys are really enjoying it. You know, the club's got a great spread on again. And the course looks magnificent. So, excited. Good day.
And you think home advantage is going to play into your hands today?
I'd like to think so, yeah.
Because a couple of years ago, was it Dalmahoy, you were in with a big chance there.
Got the playoffs at Dalmahoy and got the final in the playoffs at St Pierre the same year, so yeah. So hopefully one better this year.
Well, there are quite a few people on the Trilby Tour crew who fancy you for the title today. Would you go along with them?
I'd like to have a good go, so yeah.
Give us a number then. You know the course. You know what kind of scores have been coming in.
34, 36 rounds, yeah, is magnificent the day off 3/4. The greens will be fast, the wind's up. Anybody that comes in with 34, 36 will be in with a good shout.
So you're going for 37?
I'll take 36.
Take 36 and fight it out in the playoff. Dean Snee, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just to remind you, it is 3/4 handicap, and in the end, 4 men make it through to the 3-hole playoff, and we find ourselves a champion. That's a firm whack in the wrong direction. Dean Snee.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. I am here with a true legend of the Trilby Tour, holder of several Trilby Tour records. The leading amongst which is what, Mr. Bob Whiteley?
That would be the lowest score in the history of the Trilby Tour.
The lowest score in the history of the Trilby Tour goes to Bob Whiteley, and what was that score?
6.
6 over 18 holes.
Yes.
Yes, well, some of the 18 holes, obviously, but that's not the only low score you've had. You've made a regular habit of coming in the bottom half of the list, haven't you?
It's not fair. I think half of them have been in the top half-ish.
Hey, Bob, I'm building to it, and yet last year, everybody, suddenly Bob Whiteley at, where was it, Bredsall?
Bredsall Priory.
Bredsall Priory. What did you get then?
28.
28 and missed out on the playoff by, I think, like a shot or something like that.
I blame my caddy for last year. He gave me bad advice on the last 2 holes.
Doesn't everyone blame the caddy, Bob? And there is something else that is very special about Bob Whiteley, and that is he tends to commemorate his commitment to the Trilby Tour every year with a new tattoo. Anything for 2017, Bob?
I've updated the old one.
You've updated the old one. Can we have a look? Because the camera here, oh, look at this. Look at the guns. The Trilby Tour bag, William Hunt Trilby Tour, and Bob's participation 2011 to 2017. And we are so impressed with this mark of Bob's dedication to the tour that this year, Mr. William Hunt has paid for every member of the crew and the team to get themselves a Bob Whiteley tattoo just for the season.
That's called dedication to your art and craft. No doubt about that. Whiteley, driver, full of enthusiasm and overladen with ink. Left and blocked out. I take that. Let's get on to the course then. The par 3 7th. 8 points so far for Georgie. Just hang on. You can see the corner of the racetrack there. It's pretty much entirely inside, apart from a couple of tee shots. And if you see a couple of horses flying by it, ridden by jockeys, we're here on the wrong day. Dean Snee from the sand. Par 3 14th. See how windy it is. Keeping those dark clouds away, that's the idea. Now this one's stalling in the air a little bit. Straight over the back. Miss Club, blame the caddy. Always blame the caddy. Could have kept the glove on because he won't be putting. Sandcaster second at the 7th. And putting from way off the green. Now he knows this golf course. This must be coming back towards the hole. Wait for it. Wait for it. No. Just overhit. We saw Snee escape from the sand. Finished here, so he's third at the 11th. Looks like this. Oh, hasn't he played it well? Genius. That's going to be a par to saver. Now, you never know, because the scoring won't be super low here. 32 points at this moment, leading in the clubhouse. George Sandcaster's approach putt went this far past. This is for the par, gliding by the left edge. 23 points for George. Did not qualify it, but hopefully had a really good day. Over the back, 14. Chipping and putting for George Crowe. Look how quick the greens are. That's a fantastic chip. Just 3 feet left. Mentally, I've given it to him. It's got the strut. Now, Bob Whiteley, he is flying in the wrong direction. Just 18 points so far. Being buffeted by the breeze. That was into the wind and a crosswind, and yes, just all a bit too much. Large puff of the cheeks. Surely this is a par. It is. It's a good save. 30 points, decent finish. That's at a playoff position right now. $20 points. That's on target for Paul Shanks. When you get into the middle of the course, you sort of forget that ordinarily racehorses go galloping by. You just feel like you're playing a really nice golf course. It's been here a long time. Whiteley's 5th at 16. In the end, 23 points. Did not qualify. That's in his top 3 best ever scores, though. Shanks is 3rd. Come on. 34 points off of 3 handicap on a breezy day. Paul Shanks, fair effort. Let's get back to Mac on the first tee.
We're on the first tee for the final time with the reigning champion of Scotland, Mr. Nigel Scott. Congratulations on last year's performance, Nigel. Do you feel a bit more at home round here?
I do, yes. Good night in bed last night. Only 20 minutes away, so I haven't got that long drive, but yes.
So 20 minutes away is where you lay your head. Does that mean you've played this course a lot?
Quite a few times, yes. I'm used to it. Had a game yesterday, learnt a few good pointies yesterday, so looking forward to this.
Yeah. You think it's a different course from the one you won at Dalmahoy. What are the biggest differences?
Very much so. It's not as long as Dalmahoy. I think the greens are of equal standard, very hard to read, and very, very fast, very fast.
Let's give our best wishes to Nigel Scott as he tries to add the Northumberland title to his Scottish one.
You might have noticed that Mac and Nigel had the same hat on. They both went to choose one and thought no one will choose one like that. And they were both wrong. This looks good though. Bright and brisk and smashed over the corner. That's as good as it gets. Scar off to a flyer.
The perfect gentleman's playground.
Welcome back. We're at Northumberland Golf Club inside Newcastle Racecourse for the William Hunt Trilby Tour Championship of Northumberland. Everyone's teed off. The highest score in the clubhouse is local lad Paul Shanks on 34 points. It's got windier. It's going to have a big effect on those out there in the afternoon. 23 points so far for Scar, 148 the number. And that's Nigel's tee shot. It was a pretty good one. You can see how windy it is. Very difficult now. Maybe those in the clubhouse on 32, 34 points, they're in good shape. Third Trilby tour for David Wales. He plays at Bedlingtonshire Golf Club. There can't be a place called Bedlingtonshire, can there? That's where he plays. That's pretty close to here as well. Now that's what you don't want to do, that little move there. Tristan O'Connor. First Trilby tour. We like the first timers. Bunkered at the 8th. And catching just a little bit too much sand. Sunshine popping in and out. The odd shower. Eight handicapper Adrian Sewell. Gainsborough, Lincolnshire. I remember driving there to a factory, one of the golf manufacturers, getting set up for my clubs when I first turned pro. Yep. My producer's nodding at me. Yes, and I had to pay for them. Let's go all the way back to the 6th for Jez Mellor, former champion of Norfolk. He's lost that now. So he's championless. No cup on the shelf. Second for Scar at the 14th. Should come a little bit from the left. Come on. Oh, he's got one of those fancy golf balls. Look, you see how it rolls. It gives you a bit of feedback when you watch it. Wales third. So two good ones at the 9th, par 5. Could do with something here, decent. Chip and the putt birdie. Whoa. Short game, extremely tricky in these conditions. Hard to even hold a 3-footer. O'Connor's third. He was in the bunker. So at the 8th, trying to make par the hard way. Oh, well, he will do if he knocks that in. It's still 25 feet away. A little bit of caddy. You're holding me back, keeping me down. Scar for the par. Yeah, you see, that's what that golf ball does. Gives you a little idea. And 31 points is still in a playoff position. You just never know, with the wind not predicted to drop. Wales' birdie putt, come on. Oh, we like gross birdies on the Trilby Tour. Also, in the end, David Wales off a 5 handicap, 31 points. PO position. Debut for Mark Walton. This is his golf club. Quite a few members have taken up a chance to play in the Trilby Tour, but then that brings its own pressure because everybody thinks you should do really well. O'Connor's par attempt. Keep going. No par, but another man reaches the threshold of 31 points. They could all get knocked out by a couple of people. So they have the long wait. Sewell, 17 points after 9 holes. This at 10. So he's in the conversation. 31 points, Adrian Sewell. Logjam. And in Northumberland, 57 people went to the playoff. Could happen. Mellor. Guess what? 31 points. If these guys don't make it through the playoff, they'll be hell to pay. Walton's going really well. He's got 5 holes to go. He's level par with 26 points after 13 holes. And 36 points, new clubhouse leader. What's that done for the 31ers? Let's get back to Mac, who's going to take a close look at the playoff holes.
Thank you, Rob. The playoff holes this week are going to be 3 par 4s, the 1st, the 17th and the 18th. And here to tell us all about them is the chairman here at the Northumberland Club, Alan Ross. Alan, first hole is a dogleg right. What kind of troubles lie ahead for the players?
It's quite a short par 4, so you've got two options. You can either play safe to the bottom of the hill and pitch up, or some of the longer hitters might try and go across the trees and reach the green or round the edge of the green. But there are two very big pot bunkers there, so they need to be careful. And if they pull the tee shot, there's serious trouble on the left-hand side.
We're on the second playoff hole. That's the 17th here at the Northumberland, another par 4, and we're standing at a place where on a decent day a good drive would land, Alan, but the first thing you have to talk about here surely is the wind.
Yeah, 17's just normally a drive and a pitch, but into this wind we can see some of the players are having to hit a rescue club from the elbow where we are now. It's a fairly straightforward par 4, but bunkers left and right, and if you go over the back you're on the racecourse, and then you're in serious trouble.
Serious trouble. Let's see what the 18th holds. Alan, the final playoff hole is the 18th here, and it's another par 4, but it is not the trickiest par 4.
It's a magnificent finishing hole. If you hit it's dead straight. If you hit a nice straight drive to the bottom of the hill, then the challenge is, at this stage of the day, you might feel a bit weary, is to take enough club to hit the green, because the clubhouse is right at the back and it can be pretty intimidating for people who played 18 holes or 21 holes that are a bit nervous about it. So it's usually a club more than you would imagine, and it's very well bunkered round the green.
Well, let's just see how it all plays out. Back to you, Rob.
Thanks, Max. Still some scoring to be done for the late starters. Currently 31 points, and there's a lot of people on that score hoping that nobody else comes in with a decent one. David Rohde, 25 points. You see, he could threaten them. He could spoil the party. I'm not sure about that. Well, he'll find it, but it's not in the centre of the green. Mark Johnston, 171 at the 7th. Decent start, 12 points through 6 holes. And this one cutting left to right. Did he start it far enough left? He did. One more club and it had been perfect. Now we saw Rose finish right here. He's got a bush behind him. Well, he did well get a strike on that at all. Good escape, very good escape. It's a bad day for Trilby's. Wobbling. Johnston second, the par 3 7th. From the right, over the hill, down you come. Not bad from distance today. It's been pretty tricky to get it absolutely stone dead, as we've seen. Par attempt at 14 for David Rohde. It's a wild one. Johnston deserves a par here after his tee shot. Front portion of the green. And that's a layup just when you thought he wouldn't do that. 31s, I think, have gone. 32 points for Mark Johnston. You can hear the sounds of clubs rattling and boots getting slammed shut. 36 points, joint highest score of the day from David Rohde, off a 4 handicap in this win. That's excellent. So to the playoff and confirmation, the 31 pointers did not make it through. It was between Snee and Johnston from 100 yards, nearest the pin. And that was a winner. Mark Johnston qualifying for the final. Dean Snee just missing out. And they almost had a clean sweep of Northumberland Golf Club members making it through to the final. Not quite. David Rohde, Mark Walton, Paul Shanks and Mark Johnston will play off for the William Hunt Trilby Tour Championship of Northumberland. We're back after the break.
The perfect gentleman's playground.
Welcome back to the playoff for the 2017 Trilby Tour Championship of Northumberland. Playing holes 1, 17 and 18. All 4 players are solo in handicap. There are no shots whatsoever. It's a scratch match. First up, David Rohde.
Hi, my name is David Rohde. My club is the Northumberland Golf Club. Age is 55 and my playing handicap is 5. Great, really enjoyed it. It's been great fun. I had my son on the bag Played with a couple of really nice guys. So it's been good fun. The greens are really quick and they're quite slopey as well. You definitely need to know what you're doing with the putter, and that's probably the best defence of the club, to be honest with you. It's quite long, but it's the greens that really are. They're really quick, hard, and very true too.
So driver at the first. Sweater on. Cardi. Is it a cardi or a sweater? Oh, it's cardigan. We like cardigans. They make you play better. It just needs to sit down. That's all right. We'll get relief from that.
Hi, my name's Paul Shanks, 33, play at the Northumberland Golf Club, playing off 4. Pretty good here, hit the ball quite well. A couple of no scores let us down, but on overall quite good. I was hitting the irons quite well, put it quite solid. Didn't hold loads, but no 3 putts. Just a couple of loose drives let us down. But on the whole, pretty good.
So Shanks, driver, more aggressive. Tiger line. Good swipe. Now, has he taken it on? Well, he has done. He's greened it, almost. What a shot.
Mark Walton, my age is 42 years old, my handicap's 6, and I played Northumberland Golf Club. It was a battle out there, yeah, with the wind. I think you'll see from the scores there was quite a few ups and downs for everybody, and it was just about trying to keep calm and keep going to the end. The course is a great course, but the greens are, quite unique, very, very slick. And with the wind as well, which I talked about just before, it can make downhill putts absolutely lightning, and then you can lose your confidence, and then on uphill putts, side to side putts, it can just knock you completely. So home advantage is definitely on the greens, and also just playing safe in certain situations and going for it in other ones.
So not taking on with the driver, positional shot with a hybrid. Yeah, that looks good. It is good. Perfect.
Hi, my name's Mark Johnson. I'm 46 years old. My club is Ladybank and my handicap is 5. It's great. Cracking course. The layout's very good. It's good to see it going around the race course. That's different. But the greens make the course. That's what protects it. I did quite well on all of these holes actually, so I'm just going to do exactly the same.
So from north of the border, trying to spoil the party. Wrestle this away from the members. And that's a good one. Whoa. Yeah, that'll be absolutely fine. So they're off and running. 3 holes, remember. You can't afford in a Trilby Tour playoff to get off to a bad start. Walton's second up the hill. There's a good view. Well, that was just fringing. Back left. David Rose, shot from the rough. Good lie though. Little hands and arms pitch. Maybe scared he'd get a jumper there, and that's come up a little bit short. It's nerves as well, of course. A lot at stake. The champion of Northumberland. Imagine the crowing that can go on down your local if you can do this. Well, nobody really taking on the flag. That's for sure. So everybody keeping themselves in it, but nobody having a go at the pin. Shanks' drive was magnificent. Green side, so this is a chip and putt opportunity for a birdie, and what a start that would be. Put it back in his stance, trying to get it running quickly, which he's done. Trying to creep closer. That's pretty good. So he'll have the shortest birdie putt. All playing off level, remember. Now this one, come on. Now come on. Johnston then for a birdie. I'm not sure that's what he was looking for. See if you can spot the member by the applause. Walton. they like that. So par 4 for Mark Walton at the very first hole. He'll head to 17 level. He'll have company as well. Unless Johnston knocks this in. Oh, and he has done. What about that? Pressure was on. He was up to it. Level par. One player who drove the green almost. Last to go for his birdie. Almost for Paul Shanks. So nothing to separate 4 players, and we go to 17. That is, if Rohde knocks this one in. Ah, I had every confidence in him. Guess where we're going? 17th. Look at the breeze, the wind, and the rain starts to fall. That's horrid. Most players will have no waterproofs in their bags. 364. Row first, driver. He's got the cardigan on and the hat. Sam Sneedish, if you don't mind. That's where the likeness ends. Shanks. Now this is a mighty swipe with a fairway wood. Where's this going? That's not in the middle of the fairway, not by a long chalk. Only 2 holes left. One of these 4 players, as William Hunt looks on, is going to be the champion of Northumberland. It could be Mark Walton, or will it be another Mark? Johnston, the interloper from north of the border. Ladybank used to use that for qualifying for the Open Championship. And this one coming back, but not quite enough. It's all right. No problems there. So who's going to crack or who's going to excel? That's a horrible life for Paul Shanks. It is his ball, that's confirmed. Do well just to get this out. Oh, sort of got it out. So he's played 2. Now the 3rd. Wow, what a par this would be. Great escape from Paul Shanks. Very much alive. Johnston next. Now, sometimes it comes out a little bit lively out the rough. Oh, and that is heading towards the racecourse. Only 1 furlong to go now. You don't want to make a mistake here. He'll have that hurdle to get over when he gets down the back of that green. Rohde, oblivious to the pressure and everybody else and the cameras and the crowd. And it didn't help. Mark Walton's just plodding along, minding his own business, trying to be efficient. More than that, just slightly brilliant, Mark Walton. Now Johnston, there's a sharp ledge just right at that path and he's right at the foot of it. It just tiptoed over and this is almost impossible. Trying to find a stance and work a way to get the club into the back of the ball. Look how sharp that is. Oh, well, where's Phil Mickelson when you need him? Forget Phil. Mark Johnston's the name. What an escape. So they're in 3. Putt for a par, very makeable as the rain continues to come down. Rohde's 3rd from the bunker. Good effort, very good escape. So we've got 3 par putts and a birdie putt for Mark Walton. Look at the weather. No waterproofs, I told you. They're all getting absolutely soaked. First, the par for Shanks. And he was in the hay off the tee. Oh, my goodness me. Yet to win his first Trilby Tour. Lashing with rain, could hardly see a thing. In it goes. Mark Walton, local man, you see. When you live in Northumberland, you'd never go anywhere without your waterproofs. He's got the jacket on. This is the birdie putt. Gutted. 2 players level par with a hole to go. Walton and Shanks. Can Rohde join them? Lip out, the dreaded lip out. So he moves to +1. He's not out of it, but that's going to hurt a lot. Now can Mark Johnston get up and down from the sharp scarp? Well, he can. Tremendous. 3 players level par tied for first spot, and 1 player 1 shot worse. Still anybody's. 18th hole is 408 yards, and you've got to hit it straight. Driver. Biggest shot of his life. Shanks. It's a flusher, but not necessarily in the right direction. It's a worthy hole to decide a championship. Walton now with the driver. Impressive lack of balance at the end of that swing. Doesn't matter though if it goes straight. And it has done, split the fairway. Johnston next. Off the back of that miracle up and down. And that's gone sideways. That may be another ball. Last to hit, David Rohde. Got it teed up nice and high. Whoosh. Now, is this on the fairway? It is. Cracking. Well, 2 perfect tee shots. And 2 slightly less perfect tee shots. Saw Shanks's drive finished down the right-hand side. He's trying to hit a cutter. Didn't quite get that one. Club slipped, I suspect, in the rain, and he's there for 2. Still, he made an unbelievable par at the last hole. He might do it again. Johnston. This is his 4th shot, because he had to use a provisional ball from the tee. And that seems to be in trouble again. So he's playing his way out of this. The Rise smile. Scotch and Rye smile, if you know the show. New Year's Eve. Ricky Fulton. Hogmanay, they say in Scotland, actually. That's a lovely shot. That's in the mayor's office, that one. There in 2. Walton to reply. Centre of the fairway. Now, is this flying straight? Well, it is. Steady, steady. That's all right. Pretty good. Right in front of the clubhouse. Place he frequents without telling the missus after work. A couple of large gin and tonics and a taxi home. Shanks is 3rd. And that's short of the green. Yeah, he doesn't like that. Get yourself into position playing well all day and you just let yourself down the very last hole. It's tough. So 3 off the tee for Johnston, 4 to here. This is shot number 5 from the bunker. Long bunker shot. Difficult one. Yeah, it's tough even for the pros, that one. 50 or 60 yards, not easy. 6th shot. Well, it's a chance to stay on telly, isn't it? No real point in carrying on, but, you know, you've gone down there, you've played well, you got to the final. Do you know what? If I take 8 shots, I'm going to hit 8 shots. Shanks for the par, another miracle par. It's pretty good, but you just feel it's going to be 1 shot too many, maybe 2. Mark Walton for glory, maybe. Over the the top, turns right to left, looking good. It's very good from there. Tap in for his par. Johnson, I told you about the 8 shots for Johnson. This is the 7th. Which of those 8 shots you hit was your favourite? Must have been the last one. Well played. He makes it through to the Trilby Tour World Championship final. Just missing out. As will David Rowe, you think. Same story. Everybody ties for second if you don't win it. Doesn't matter what you make in the playoff. This is a bogey putt for Shanks. 12 hold. Bold attempt, but not to be this time. Still that elusive Trilby Tour Championship awaits. So everybody over par, apart from one man who's yet to putt out. Mark Walton stayed in the pack. He was on the bridle. Half a furlong to go, neck out in front, and yes, he is the Trilby Tour Champion of Northumberland for 2017. And the club members go wild. Well played, everybody. Well played, Mark Walton.
The 2017 Trilby Tour rumbles on. 3 regional championships completed, 6 more to go before we have all our champions and our qualifiers. We'll have the Trilby 2's pairs competition at Magnolia Park before everyone meets up in Hull for the World Championship final. And then we'll finish off the series with the Rogues Gallery special on Christmas Day. Now, let's have a word with the new champion of Northumberland, Mark Walton.
Fantastic, yeah. Tough going in the weather there, but really happy. Been a brilliant day. There's loads of good golfers better than me. I've had probably my best day of the season. Most of those guys, that's an average day for them. Someone who can play a lot better than me, so definitely not bragging rights, no.
Really only one man in the running for shot of the day this week, and that man is Mark Johnson, with this impossible escape from the racetrack on the second hole of the playoff. Now, at the other end of the scale, here are the worst shots of the week in Rogues Gallery. First up, former Trilby Tour regional champion David Hill with this approach on the 6th, where his ball is absolutely determined to find a clump of grass where it can set up home. Now we know this is the 15th. We know someone's stuck in the long grass, and we know that shot's not going to get him out. But we'll have to wait till he shows himself before we can name and shame Mr. Stuart Allen. Hello there, Stuart. Looking good. A short hole 14 special now with Andrew Hopkins making it over the floodlight and ending up somewhere over there. Keith White goes in front rather than over the floodlight, but also ends up somewhere over there. Trilby stalwart Ian Mantis Marshall manages to avoid going somewhere over there by going somewhere just here, behind that hedge. Jamie Stidwell was getting married the day after this event, so he decided to send his ball onto the church well ahead of time. On the 10th, David Bailey decides not to fight the wind and just go with it, whatever the result may be. Here on the 9th, Tommy Bruley makes our cameraman Joe earn his money with this long pan right. Then, on the same hole, Christopher Jennings takes pity on Joe and only makes him pan half the distance to the right. But, ensuring he stretches on both sides, Francis Bannon sends his approach on the 9th to Joe's far left. And before we finish, proving that the bad day's golf wasn't all caused by the wind, here's a dainty wee dribble along the 7th fairway. Followed by playoff finalist David Rowe going wildly left on the same hole. Before Mark Armstrong draws attention away from his poor score by way of an 18th green aerial bombardment. Let's have a word with a cold and wet William.
Eventful day, lots of twists and turns, fantastic playoff, 4 very good players. Once we got rid of the cannon fodder earlier in the day, I thought that Mark Johnson might win it with that fantastic recovery on the second hole, but our winner, Mark Walton, popular boy, local boy. It's always great when a local boy wins it, when a member wins it. Great golf course, great day, wonderful people. It's the Trilby Tour. What else do you expect?
Next week, the tour arrives in Cumbria and the glorious views of the Lake District afforded by Cairns Green Golf Club. In the meantime, if you'd like to get involved in the Trilby Tour, please contact us via the website at www.trilbytour.com. We'll see you next week.
The plan is simple, chaps. Once you've escaped the head, you must make your way to the safety of the tree line before the caddies spot you. Speed is the key, and whatever you do, don't get stuck in the sand. Aha, good man, and good luck.
William Hunt Savile Row sponsors the Trilby Tour. The perfect gentleman's playground.